They will start to say, he doesn't love me, he doesn't listen to me. She doesn't love me, she doesn't do as I tell her. If they call you up repeatedly on a night out with your friends, phone ही तो कर रही हूँ, प्यार करती हूँ इसलिए पूछ रही हूँ. I think, let's say they're two brothers and the father keeps saying that the first one is very intelligent, second one is nikamma. So if comparison is done, if one is shouted at a lot, one is shown a lot of extra care, but inside they start to feel like because of this sibling, I don't get the care I deserve.
My love is not, or the relationship is not toxic, where you don't like the person, but you love them. What is emotional intimacy, first of all?
Where you are able to express truthfully how you feel, who you are, without fear of judgment, and fully accepting your partner and being fully accepted for who you are.
Chilling out has become such a loose term and such a vague term also.
So even at 40, ask why. You want to do that girls trip because you need a break from your life, do it. But if you want to do it because you're running away from a toxic marriage, you're running away from toxic in-laws, you're running away from toxic parents, you're running away from toxic siblings, no, fix the toxicity. Running away won't help. You may think you're very honest, but are you? You know, your definition of honesty to yourself is also honest or not. गुस्सा सबको आता है. So when somebody claims मुझे तो गुस्सा आता ही नहीं, that's kind of a false claim to self. So I'm talking about वो आप अपने आप से झूठ बोल रहे हो.
But खुद के साथ क्या आप drastically गलत कर रहे हो खुद को समझने में?
That victimhood carries on for the rest of your life. Till you're 40, you will do things wrong and you will cover it up by saying, but मैं बेचारी, मेरे पास कोई choice था.
नमस्ते, वेलकम टू द जर्नी विद इन पॉडकास्ट विद मी शोभा राणा. मैं एक इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस और माइंडसेट कोच हूँ और साथ ही इस पॉडकास्ट की होस्ट और क्रिएटर भी हूँ. द जर्नी विद इन पॉडकास्ट का एम है कि आपको आपकी बेस्ट लाइफ, आपकी ड्रीम लाइफ को डिज़ाइन करने में मदद करें. और ये हम करते हैं बाय टेकिंग द जर्नी विद इन, खुद को समझ पाने से, खुद की बेहतर अंडरस्टैंडिंग को डेवलप करने से. आज के इस पॉडकास्ट में हम द जर्नी विद इन करने वाले हैं, खुद को बेहतर समझने वाले हैं थ्रू द रिलेशनशिप्स दैट वी हैव इन आवर लाइफ. यू नो, हमारी लाइफ में जो रिश्ते होते हैं वो लार्जली 4 बकेट्स में एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. पहला, हमारा खुद के साथ क्या रिलेशनशिप है, द रिलेशनशिप विद द सेल्फ. सेकेंड इज द रिलेशनशिप विद द फैमिली दैट वी कम फ्रॉम, जिसमें हमारे पेरेंट्स, हमारे भाई बहन, हमारे सिबलिंग्स आ जाते हैं. थर्ड इज द रिलेशनशिप विद आवर पार्टनर, जो रिलेशनशिप, जो रिश्ता हम अपने लिए चूज करते हैं, अपना स्पाउस. एंड द फोर्थ इज द रिलेशनशिप विद आवर फ्रेंड्स, हम अपने दोस्तों के साथ किस तरह का रिश्ता रखते हैं. और इन चारों तरह के रिलेशनशिप्स में बहुत सारी चीज़ें प्ले आउट कर रही होती हैं, ऊपर नीचे. बहुत सारे हमारे लाइफ के जो पेन है और जो प्लेजर है वो इन रिलेशनशिप्स के थ्रू भी आता है. सो वी ट्राई टू डिकोड दीज 4 रिलेशनशिप्स और यहाँ पर कहाँ पे हमें किस तरह के चैलेंजेस आते हैं, हाउ टू सॉल्व दोज चैलेंजेस फॉर अस. वी ऑल्सो ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड लव एंड रिस्पेक्ट एज 2 एलिमेंट्स एग्जिस्टिंग विद इन आवर फैमिलीज. लेकिन इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में लव और रिस्पेक्ट को कैसे देखा जाता है? यू नो, हर सोसाइटी, हर कल्चर का एक पर्टिकुलर तरीका होता है एक आइडिया को समझने का. सो व्हाट इज द इंडियन आइडिया ऑफ लव एंड रिस्पेक्ट, और उसमें अपने क्या फ्लॉज हैं, क्या खूबियां हैं. सो ट्राई टू डिकोड दीज रिलेशनशिप्स फ्रॉम द इंडियन स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ रिलेशनशिप्स फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू. और आज इस कॉन्वर्जेशन के लिए हमारे साथ हैं आशना कालरा, जो कि मेरी तरह एक पॉडकास्टर हैं. द ह्यूमन थ्रेड नाम से इनका पॉडकास्ट है एंड हर पॉडकास्ट इज ऑल्सो अबाउट अंडरस्टैंडिंग मेंटल हेल्थ. शी हरसेल्फ इज़ अ मेंटल हेल्थ एजुकेटर. ये उसके बारे में ऑफ कोर्स अपने प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू काफ़ी लोगों को अवेयर कर रही हैं. और साथ ही साथ शी टॉक्स अबाउट एम्पैथी, कंपैशन एंड वेरियस एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ मेंटल हेल्थ. सो प्लीज़ वेलकम आशना कालरा ऑन टुडेज पॉडकास्ट. बिफोर वी मीट आवर गेस्ट टुडे, अगर आपको द जर्नी विद इन पॉडकास्ट की ये कोशिश पसंद आती है तो प्लीज़ चैनल को सपोर्ट कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब टू द चैनल, लाइक, कमेंट एंड शेयर, ताकि ये कॉन्वर्जेशन और भी लोगों तक पहुंच पाए. एंड मेक यूज़ ऑफ द न्यू यूट्यूब फीचर विच इज़ द हाइप फीचर. वीडियो को हाइप ज़रूर कीजिए ताकि वो और भी ज़्यादा लोगों तक पहुंच पाए, ताकि और लोग इस कॉन्वर्जेशन से अपनी लाइफ को सिंप्लीफाई कर पाएँ और अपनी ड्रीम लाइफ को क्रिएट कर पाएँ. एंड नाउ विदाउट एनी फर्दर अडू, लेट्स मीट आवर गेस्ट आशना कालरा. Let's welcome her on the Journey Within podcast. Hi Ashna, welcome to the Journey Within podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
आशना, मैंने आपके पॉडकास्ट देखा है, कुछ एपिसोड्स देखे हैं, एंड जिस तरह से आप उन एपिसोड्स में लोगों की प्रॉब्लम्स को, लाइफ के प्रॉब्लम्स को एक डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव को देने की कोशिश करते हो. दैट इज समथिंग व्हाट वी डू एट द जर्नी विद इन पॉडकास्ट. एंड टुडे वी आर सिटिंग हियर विद अ वेरी क्लियर ऑब्जेक्टिव, एंड दैट इज टू सिंप्लीफाई रिलेशनशिप्स. और सिंप्लीफाई करने से पहला स्टेप है अंडरस्टैंडिंग रिलेशनशिप्स.
Correct.
एंड रिलेशनशिप्स अकर इन 4 buckets फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस. सबसे पहली बकेट इज रिलेशनशिप विद द सेल्फ. वहाँ से स्टार्ट करके, क्योंकि यूजुअली जब रिलेशनशिप्स की बात करते हैं तो लोग डेटिंग और फिर डेटिंग के 10 थ्रेड्स खोल लेते हैं. वी विल गेट इन टू रिलेशनशिप विद अ पार्टनर, विद अ स्पाउस ऑल्सो, बट फर्स्ट लेट्स स्टार्ट अबाउट रिलेशनशिप विद सेल्फ. होता क्या है और कैसे पता चलता है कि मेरा खुद के साथ क्या रिश्ता है?
I think, Shobha, firstly, I would like to, and this is my opinion, there are 4 buckets that we were talking about before we started. Relationship with self, relationship with friends, relationship with spouse, and relationship with parents, siblings, family. These are our 4 buckets of relationships where we seek fulfillment from, happiness from, which fulfill our life in different ways at different stages of life. जब आप छोटे होते हो, your parents and siblings and your family is your main bucket because the rest haven't come about. जैसे आप थोड़ा बड़े होते हो, you have friends. That's your second bucket comes in. Third bucket comes in when you get married, you have a spouse, male, female, whichever. Either way, that is your bucket,
Or you get into a relationship.
Or you get a relationship
Sooner as
partner.
well.
Partner in any way. Any partner. Spouse doesn't have to be a spouse, but actually, yeah, nowadays you have to say partner.
Partner, of
Because
course.
it doesn't have to be a spouse. Back in the days, it was compulsory that partner became a spouse. So, आपका वो partner हो गया, third. And fourth is children. That comes much later. So, your first 30 years, 25 to 30 years have already gone by. But these are the 4 main buckets of relationships where we seek fulfillment from and happiness from. And in sabka relationship is very important. First, most important is relationship with self. So, I'll give you an example. अगर आप ऑरेंज देखते हो तो वो ऑरेंज जूस देगा. आप वाटरमेलन देखते हो तो वो वाटरमेलन जूस देगा. Whatever you are is what you have to offer. The relationship you have with self is a relationship you'll offer to everybody else. So, अगर आप अंदर से ही डरे हुए हो, for example, I'm a very scared person. I'm scared to cross the road. I'm scared to eat hot food. I'm scared to touch this. I'm scared to try this. I'm scared to try a skill. I'm scared to try a hobby. I'm scared to go to school. I'm scared to go to work. I'm scared to join a job. अगर मैं डरी हुई हूँ, तो what will I bring into all the different buckets of my relationships? Fear.
Yes, fear.
I'll only bring fear because that's all I have to offer. Like I said, एक orange जूस ही दे सकता है और एक watermelon वैसा वैसा तो नहीं हो सकता. तो जो आप हैं, आपका खुद के साथ रिलेशनशिप है, वही रिलेशनशिप आपका आपके 4 बकेट्स में होगा. सो आई थिंक फर्स्ट व्हाट एवरीबडी नीड्स टू थिंक अबाउट और एड्रेस इज व्हाट इज योर रिलेशनशिप विद सेल्फ. क्योंकि उसमें भी आई थिंक कहीं ना कहीं हम अपने आप से झूठ बोलते हैं. वी लाई टू आवरसेल्व्स.
What is a relationship with self? Basically, if you have to simplify it for someone listening to us right now, how do you say that? Like, how do you kind of quantify it, or how does one know that this is my relationship with the self?
I think relationship with self, if I have to simplify it, आप अपने बारे में क्या सोचते हो, आप अपने आप को कहाँ प्लेस करते हो लाइफ में, राइट? वन इज आई कंसिडर माई सेल्फ वेरी ऑनेस्ट, आई कंसिडर माई सेल्फ वेरी ब्रेव, आई कंसिडर माई सेल्फ वेरी स्केर्ड, आई think I'm a very honest person. I do everything with very, a lot of authenticity and honesty. ये आप अपने आप के बारे में सोचते हो. This is the relationship with self. Not necessarily it's a fact, but this is what you think about yourself. How some people are confident because inside they have decided what they're thinking is very right. What they have to say is they're very sure of it. So they come across confident. So what is the relationship with self? A lot of surety. जब आप बहुत अनश्योर हो गए, यूल कम अक्रॉस नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट, यूल कम अक्रॉस शाय, टिमिड, इजिली कन्विंसिबल, क्योंकि खुद का कोई स्टैंड नहीं है, क्योंकि आप अंदर ही अंदर आप खुद सोच रहे हो, आई डोंट नो इफ आई एम श्योर और नॉट, मे बी आई एम अ वेरी अनश्योर टाइप ऑफ पर्सन, आई एम वेरी इजी गोइंग, जैसे लोग बोलेंगे मैं वैसा कर लेती हूँ, विच मीन्स वॉट, यू डोंट हैव अ स्टैंड. So that will come into your personality and your relationship with everybody else. So relationship with self is आप अपने आप को कितना समझते हो and rightly कितना समझते हो. How authentically you understand yourself. You call yourself a disciplined person, but let's say you're not. Then you're not authentic with yourself. Relationship with self is only not authentic. आप अपने साथ ही सच नहीं बोल रहे हो, तो आप किसी और को भी सच नहीं बोलोगे. आप सबको बोलोगे, मम्मी को बोलोगे, मम्मा आई एम वेरी डिसिप्लिन, आजकल मेरा वो फेज चल रहा है. आप अपने फ्रेंड्स को बोलोगे, आई एम वेरी डिसिप्लिन पर्सन, व्हेन आई वाज अ किड, आई वाज वेरी डिसिप्लिन, देन दिस हैपेंड इन माय लाइफ, you'll find excuses because you're lying to yourself only. You're a very disciplined person. It's a very small example, but in every phase or every aspect of life, you have to be very honest with yourself.
But where does this relationship with self go absolutely wrong? क्या गलतियां लोग करते हुए देखते हो आप कॉमनली? व्हाट इज योर ऑब्जर्वेशन अबाउट इट?
I think relationship with self, according to me, where it can go wrong is कि आपका belief कुछ है and reality कुछ है. So let's say a pattern since childhood of relationship with self is to tell yourself that I'm a victim. So you tell yourself I'm a bichara. So let's say you and your sibling are playing and something goes wrong, and you know your sibling is sort of a drama queen and or a drama guy and complains to the mother or the father that this is what happened, and you get shouted at. You tell yourself, you know, I did nothing wrong. You may have, but you tell yourself I did nothing wrong, and instead of shouting at my sibling, they only shouted at me. Poor me. So that becomes, if not corrected by yourself at a certain age, we all become quite sensible at 18, 19. We are very aware of who we are. If by that time you have not started correcting things like that, that victimhood carries on for the rest of your life. Till you're 40, you will do things wrong and you will cover up by saying, but मैं बेचारी, मेरे पास कोई choice था. I had to lie. अदरवाइज उसको डांट पड़ जाती. I had to do this. मेरे को छुपाना पड़ा, नहीं तो उसको बुरा लग जाता. I had to do this. You find reasons to reconfirm that I am the victim.
So one common belief system which people unknowingly have is considering themselves a victim. Especially in Indian context अगर मैं बात करूँ, in fact in global context also, अपने आप को victim मान लेना. और maybe you don't know this word victim, maybe you are not saying it to yourself that I am a victim, but in a way अपने आप को कहीं ये समझ लेना कि मेरे साथ तो गलत ही होता है.
करेक्ट.
मेरे को गलत किया जाता है.
करेक्ट.
मेरी आवाज को नहीं सुना जाता है, मुझे दबाया जाता है, मैं सप्रेसर हूँ. कहीं ना कहीं आप ये मान लेते हो और उस हिसाब से फिर आप अपनी लाइफ को चलाने लग जाते हो. तो वन रिलेशनशिप विद सेल्फ गोज रॉन्ग विद विक्टिम माइंडसेट. नाउ आशना, द प्रॉब्लम विद विक्टिम माइंडसेट इज सच दैट स्पेशली इन एन इंडियन हाउस होल्ड कि आपकी कंडीशनिंग ही ऐसी होती है, जैसे अगर आप एक एल्डर सिबलिंग हो तो कुछ ना कुछ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज आपको ही दिए जाएंगी. जैसे कि डांट पड़नी है तो एल्डर को ही थोड़ा ज्यादा डांट लेंगे कि छोटे बच्चे को ज्यादा नहीं डांटते, तुम तो बड़े हो, कॉम्प्रोमाइज तुम ज्यादा कर लो, तुम ज्यादा एडजस्ट कर लो. तो कहीं ना कहीं विक्टिम माइंडसेट धीरे धीरे हमारी सोसाइटल कंडीशनिंग की वजह से भी सेट इन होने लगता है. हाउ डज वन ब्रेक आउट ऑफ दिस नाउ?
I think societal, क्यों parental भी हो सकता है. Your parents probably have given you a victim mindset. Maybe you have seen your mother being, from a victim mindset, and your mother and your father are your prime examples when you're growing up. I mean, primarily. Sometimes people live with grandparents. Sometimes people live in different homes. Maybe their prime example is someone else. But I would say, on a larger context, 60 to 70% हमारे first examples हमारे parents ही होते हैं. तो अगर आप देखो आपकी mother थोड़ी victimhood type की है, या आपके father, I was not successful at work. मैंने ये कंपनी स्टार्ट की, फेल हो गई, मैं ही बेचारा हूँ, मैं इतनी मेहनत करता हूँ. आपने अगर वो ग्रोइंग अप, you've seen that is probably the first tactic you'll pick up because you don't know any better. But like you asked, at what age can you correct it? I think as soon as you're aware of who you are, and I think that happens in your late teens, you start to discover who you are. You start to see that आपको गुस्सा आता है on the same things जो आपके parents को आता है. You get triggered by the same things that you saw your parents getting triggered. You see that you form the same bonds that your parents were forming with themselves and others. I think in your late teenage years, you become pretty aware of who you are, what kind of surrounding you come from, because that's when you're thrown into the world. आप यूनिवर्सिटी चले जाते हो, आप कॉलेज चले जाते हो, आप मिलते हो लोगों को from all walks of life. एक कॉलेज और यूनिवर्सिटी में कितनी तरह के फैमिलीज के लोग आते हैं. आप दूसरे के पर्सपेक्टिव सुनते हो, आप लोगों की लाइफ के बारे में सुनते हो, एंड आप रियलाइज करते हो, हाँ मैं भी ऐसा ही हूँ, या मैं ऐसी नहीं हूँ, या मैं भी कर सकती थी. आई कैन ऑल्सो बी लाइक दिस, आई कैन ऑल्सो बी लाइक दैट. यू स्टार्ट टू सी डिफरेंट प्रोस्पेक्ट्स एंड यू स्टार्ट टू सी दैट यू कुड ऑल्सो एक्ट डिफरेंटली नो मैटर वॉट योर कंडीशनिंग इज.
व्हाट आर द अदर थिंग्स दैट यू सी कि रिलेशनशिप्स विद सेल्फ पे गलत हो जाता है, कि आपका फाउंडेशन ही गलत हो रहा है रिश्तों को समझने का. आप तो ही जाकर बाहर रिश्ते बनाओगे, पार्टनर से बनाओगे, भाई बहन से बनाओगे, फैमिली से बनाओगे, अपने खुद के बच्चे से बनाओगे, बट खुद के साथ क्या आप ड्रास्टिकली गलत कर रहे हो खुद को समझने में, और क्या एक ऐसा हैबिट है या ऐसा प्रैक्टिस है जहां से आप खुद को बेटर समझ सकते हो?
I think another mindset according to me is when you have decided that you're not good enough. तो अगर आपको बहुत डांटा गया बचपन में, यू डोंट स्टडी इनफ, तुम फर्स्ट नहीं आए, तुम सेकंड आए, तुमने पार्टिसिपेट नहीं किया, ओ आई सॉ योर स्कूल हैड स्पोर्ट्स डे, आई नेवर सॉ योर नेम इन एनी ऑफ द लिस्ट, यू डिडंट डू एनी स्पोर्ट्स, योर सिबलिंग डिड दिस, यू डिडंट डू दिस, जस्ट बीइंग टोल्ड you're not good enough. I think as a child, if you're told over and over again, that also becomes your relationship with self. You will not try in life. And you will not try in life in anything. Where because you become complacent that I am average or I am below average. Try करने का ही क्या है? I am that. मेरी capability इतनी है, मेरी category इसकी है. I am on the lower category of things. There are very few people who are able to break out of it and say, no, I was told I'm not good enough, but guess what? I'm going to break all the barriers. 1 in 10. 9 will sit with that thought process. I am not good enough. So then that is the relationship with spouse aage jaake. I'm not good enough. So when the partner shouts, okay, I am not good enough, so I'll take it. They'll say, you're not a good wife, you're not a good cook, you're not a good mother, you're not a good, okay. They accept it. Whether they're operating from that space of not being good enough means they're actually even living that life. Where they're living the average life of the below average because they have believed since childhood they're not good enough. So I think that also becomes a personality trait. Because अपने आप को change करना, अपने आप को shift करना, इतनी बड़ी responsibility है. It's so uncomfortable, right? We are so comfortable in who we are. अगर कोई इंसान lazy है, वो कितना comfortable है lazy होने में. आप उसको बोलोगे, you must get up in the morning and come for a 5 km run. My full colony के all my friends go. वो क्या बोलेगा? I don't need it. I'm very happy how I am. क्योंकि उसको change करना पड़ेगा. तो that person will not accept only कि वो lazy है. बोलेगा मुझे suit नहीं करता. आपको 10 बहाने मिल जाएंगे कि I don't want to come for the 5 a.m. run. Because as human beings, we're very comfortable. What is it that we fear? We fear change. What do we fear? We fear becoming someone else. Will we be accepted if we change? Will we be loved? Will somebody like the different version of us? Because we are so aware कि ये version सबको पसंद आ रहा है अभी. इसमें हम अच्छे से जी रहे हैं. ये comfortable है. तो change करना पड़ेगा.
सबको पसंद आ रहा है और कहीं ना कहीं आप भी used to हो गए हो because you have taken that as your comfort.
That has become your personality. This is who I am. The minute you say this is who I am, you are lying to yourself. Because you have reached a stagnant point. You don't want to grow. Because nobody is that one person. We are different aspects of circumstances. When life is going really well, we have certain personality traits that come up. And when life is going really bad, some other personality traits come up. We might become far more understanding when something really bad happens with us because then we see other people's grief and we understand it. And when somebody hasn't been through any grief, they probably don't have understanding, right? ऐसा नहीं है कि उसके अंदर वो personality नहीं है, but वो बाहर आने का chance नहीं मिला. We all have the same colors of the rainbows inside us, but which shines brightest on the circumstances of life. So I think it really depends on what life brings. And if you say, this is who I am and I don't want to see the other colors of life, you're not looking to grow. And I think if you're not looking to grow, you're not looking to change, you're not looking to experience all the aspects that exist, then I think there's no growth, right? What is the fun?
What is the fun? That's the, bottom line of it. That if you're not playing with life in whatever different situations it is putting you into, and you're not letting that play teach you those lessons, or at least make you introspect, at least make you reflect into your own life and see, how do I take my decisions? How do I behave with people? How do I behave with myself? What are my hobbies? What is my inner inspiration? What am I intrinsically motivated to do? When you don't think of any of these things, matlab you're somewhere not aiming for growth in life.
Yeah.
And we all, whether we consciously say it or not, we all constantly wants to grow and evolve in our lives. Today we are talking about relationships. We want to grow in our relationships, right?
Correct.
We want to experience love to its deepest states. We want to experience, whatever relationship has to bring fulfillment, belongingness to its different and maximum stages also. So we want relationships to evolve. We want our partners to evolve.
Everybody wants to be loved, seen and heard. That's what we're here for, right? From childhood, what do we want? My mother should love me. So if my mother likes me doing well in school, I'll try very hard because in the end, I want my mother to love me. Every time I do good in my tests, I get 2 kisses. She makes my favorite dessert. I'm giving an example. My mother really likes me performing on stage. So she really takes a lot of interest in my dance classes. So you'll do that extra. What is it for? For that love, attention, belonging. Everybody wants that, seen, heard, belonging. The minute you get that sort of feeling from a relationship, you'll seek it more. And then you'll try and do it कि पहले उस किस चीज से वो मिला था, you'll try and repeat that. Because that's the only thing you know. You won't try anything else. You know, it's very funny. I was talking to a friend of mine last night and I was telling her, there are so many different ways of being happy. For somebody, sitting with a glass of wine, watching Netflix is happiness. For somebody, switching off the light at 10 o'clock, having a small lamp and reading a book in bed is happiness. For somebody, going for a drive with their partner is happiness. For somebody, going to a fine dining restaurant and enjoying that particular kind of food is happiness. There are so many ways of, let's say, just spending a night, right? And there's so many ways of being happy. Yet everybody thinks there's one solution to happiness, but there isn't. So in the same way, I don't think there's one fulfillment to every relationship. There are so many aspects to it. जब 10 लोग हैं, हर आप 10 लोगों से पूछोगे what is your favorite thing to do at night, all those 10 people have different things to tell you. So those 10 the people are also seeking 10 different things from the relationship. But again, we get all bottom hold into those small things कि नहीं, मैं तो बचपन से ऐसी हूँ, मैं तुम अपने parents भी ऐसे हैं, my whole family is like this, I have grown up like this, I am like this, my siblings are like this, my friends have accepted me like this, my partners accepted me like this. Accepted you like this according to who? According to you or according to your partner? You know, I think that also we don't question. Who has accepted who according to who? ये भी एक खुद का belief है.
Correct. So relationship with self में we discussed a few things that go wrong, and that's why our belief system for who we are gets established in a certain way, and वहाँ से सारी प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो जाती है. बिकॉज अब खुद को ही ठीक से नहीं समझते हो आप कौन हो, तो ऑब्वियसली आगे जाके आप रिलेशनशिप में भी वही लेके जाते हो. सो नाउ लेट्स इवॉल्व टू अदर बकेट्स. द फर्स्ट बकेट और द सेकंड बकेट दैट वी शुड टॉक अबाउट इज रिलेशनशिप विद योर फैमिली, प्राइमरली योर पेरेंट्स एंड योर सिबलिंग्स, क्योंकि आप उनके साथ बड़े होते हो, पहले दिन से आपकी दुनिया का पार्ट होते हैं. तो व्हाट आर द चैलेंजेस दैट यू सी और ऑब्जर्वेशंस यू हैव इन दिस होल रिलेशनशिप विद फैमिली बकेट?
I think whereas family, especially in the Indian context, as far as families, parents, siblings are concerned, I think our society misuses the word respect. I think respect sometimes can be pain, but is disguised as respect. आपने उठ के दादी जी को प्रणाम नहीं किया, you're so disrespectful, right? You have spoiled your relationship with your grandparents because you don't wake up every morning and touch their feet. Firstly, an act of touching feet should be an act of love coming from the grandchild. Right? It cannot be enforced. Love cannot be enforced. Now that act of touching feet is described as respect, love, giving the grandparents the place they deserve, all under the name of love. This is love. But is the child made to understand that this is a form of respect, or this is their only form of respect? This is their expectation as respect. This is how they feel empowered. There are many aspects to look at it. कि उनको ये क्यों चाहिए? Why don't they just need a hug? Why don't they want कि in the morning you sit with them and probably do the first prayer with them? Why don't they want that the walk that you go in the morning, they sit and you go for that walk with them? Why is it not that when you sit for breakfast, that's the first thing you do with them is eat breakfast with them? It can be different acts of kindness, can be different acts of love. But why they associate that touching feet as love? When that is enforced, it's called respect. But according to me, that's pain. It's painful. Because now that child is not, or that grandchild is not seeing it as love. Seeing it as a painful act that he has to or she has to do to show love. And I think that happens in all relationships in the family. Where respect is kind of misguided or misunderstood. Because respect एक बहुत अंदर की feel करी हुई चीज होती है. I respect you. You know, today I respect you. You asked me to come at a particular time. I reached at that time. You said I want 2 hours. I'm here for 2 hours. That is my respect for you. I cannot touch your feet and show you that respect. You know, respect you'll feel when I respected your time. I respect your conversation. I respect your mindset. Those are real respects. So I think that in families can be misunderstood. If a daughter-in-law argues with the mother-in-law, she doesn't love her. Maybe she does. That's a difference of opinion. हाँ, but वो उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग थोड़ी अलग है लाइफ की, क्योंकि उसका ब्रिंगिंग अप बहुत अलग है. और फादर आर्ग्यूज विद द सन, द फादर विल गो टू द मदर एंड से तुम्हारा बेटा बिल्कुल सुनता नहीं, निकम्मा है. Labeled there and then. On what context? Because he did not agree with you. He has a different view on life. He has a different view on the subject. But I think in that context, I feel Indian families can really restrict your view on love. They will start to say, he doesn't love me, he doesn't listen to me. She doesn't love me, she doesn't do as I tell her. If they call you up repeatedly on a night out with your friends, phone ही तो कर रही हूँ, प्यार करती हूँ इसलिए पूछ रही हूँ. But according to you, that's love. According to the child, is it love?
You know, respect is a very heavy word in Indian family context, particularly. Respect equals to silence also in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
If you are silent when you are shouted at, when you are made to do things that you don't like to do, when you have
done
to
it.
agree. Yeah, of course, when you have to please people and you have to do certain acts to please people, and if you're silent about it, that is what is considered as being respectful.
Correct.
So respect equals silence is also one very wrong equation running in Indian families particularly. So I think
Boundaries.
that is one problem identification. But how does one solve for it? Because let's say you're taking example of grandparents, you're taking example of parents. Now, if their respect language is this and your respect language is something else, how do these two worlds even meet? Because sometimes the age gap is so much, sometimes the worlds are so different that how do you make them come at one place and solve for them?
I don't know if you can come at one place, but from my experience,
Or do you need to?
Yeah, that's what I feel like. You don't necessarily like need to be on the same page. I just feel that respect is actually understanding that you are an apple and I'm an orange, and that's okay. We both can coexist in a fruit salad, but you and I cannot have the same result. You will be orange juice and I will be able to give apple juice. So like our outcomes will be different. And I feel the respect lies in understanding that. Your parent may or may not have that understanding, may or may not have that awareness, or your grandparent probably is in a stage and state in life where they do not have this understanding. They don't have the condition, they've not had the conditioning to understand this kind of psychology, awareness, deep thinking. But I'm saying today we can. And my understanding or in my experience, what I have realized is even if someone's love language and respect language may be different to yours, it's okay. I don't push mine on them. I don't let them push theirs on me. I don't take it personally. I think the mistake we make as human beings, and especially I think in our society, we take everything very personally. We make it our problem. अगर आपने मेरे से पानी मांगा, मैं आपके लिए जाके पानी लिया, मैंने यहाँ रख दिया, मैंने आपके हाथ में नहीं रखा, तो they be like so disrespectful. उसने आके टेबल पे पटक दिया, उसने मेरे हाथ में भी नहीं दिया, right? What was my intention? To bring you water. Very nicely, with my clean heart and clean intention, I got the water and I put it here. Now, if you felt bad, I don't see it as a me problem. I see it as a you problem. And I don't make it my problem. So I will not come and argue with you. रखा तो था मैंने, प्यार से तो दिया था, आप गलत समझ रहे हो. That means I am trying to get into your zone and trying to explain to you that you're an orange juice and I'm apple juice. No, I will let you be. You can feel as you want. I will leave it there because I left it there that whenever you get free, your hands were busy. I left it there out of respect that this is the water.
You know, Ashna, this is a very simplistic example, but relationships are way more complicated than this, especially when, let's say, when we have to coexist in a family. Let's say your parents understand or your grandparents understand respect as one thing. Let's say not arguing with them, or your mother does not find you being a respectful person when you argue with your father or with her, and you have to live with them as well, and you love them also as a child. They also love you. Now there are situations where you have constant battles because you don't see a lot of fronts as same, है ना. इधर भी नहीं कि आपकी एक ही बात पे मल्टीपल लड़ाई हो, आपकी मल्टीपल बातों पे डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव्स भी हो सकते हैं. तो करते करते आप ऐसी स्टेज पे पहुंच जाते हो जहाँ पे किसी भी चीज पे कॉमन व्यू है नहीं. लाइफ की किसी भी चीज़ पे कॉमन व्यू नहीं है कि आपकी क्या आपको पढ़ना चाहिए, फिर आपको क्या करियर चूज करना चाहिए, कैसा पार्टनर चूज करना चाहिए. इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजन लाइफ के होते हैं. आपको किस तरह के कपड़े पहनने चाहिए, आपको किस तरह से इंटरेक्ट करना चाहिए, आपको किस तरह से हंसना चाहिए, आपको किस तरह से अपने आप को यू नो द होल ऑफ यू. तो फिर ऐसे वाले सिचुएशन में हाउ डू यू understand that this is a me problem and this is a them problem, and I cannot leave it at that. I need to solve because eventually our worlds have to meet.
I don't think there's a one clear cut answer. You know, like you said, there are so many complicated situations that may arise in a family. But my understanding is that there is always going to be a respectful ground for you to build where you say, I'm okay. So for example, like you said, उनको आपके कपड़े पहनने का तरीका पसंद नहीं है, उनको आपका करियर चॉइस पसंद नहीं है, उनका आपका पार्टनर चॉइस पसंद नहीं है, आपके जो गर्लफ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड घर आते हैं उनको वो भी पसंद नहीं है, उनको आपकी चॉइस है फ्रेंड्स भी पसंद नहीं है, उनके आपको वे आपकी हॉबीज पसंद नहीं है.
आप कितनी देर फोन पे बात करते हो, किससे बात करते हो, बहुत सारी चीजें होती है.
What are the things you feel also yourself that are not right? So for example, ऐसा तो नहीं आपके पेरेंट्स या आपके इन-लॉज या आपके कजन्स या आपके ब्रदर्स या आपके वेल विशर्स हर एक चीज आपके लिए गलत बोल रहे होंगे. Maybe they have found a reason which you are not able to identify. Sometimes it can happen. Sometimes we also have blind spots, right? I can't see that I have a toxic boyfriend one after another. So if they're saying your choice of boyfriends are wrong, maybe I do need to look into the fact that why are they saying it repeatedly? Every boyfriend I bring home, they criticize. Every time I have a new friend, they criticize. Maybe I do have toxic friends. Maybe I do have toxic boyfriends. Maybe I am the toxic partner Hence, I'm bringing the toxicity home. So sometimes I think it requires self-reflection also. But I think minuscule things which actually don't really matter in the long run, like what clothes I wear, it really is like inconsequential. मैं क्या कपड़े पहन रही हूँ? Do you remember how you were dressing 2 years ago? Does it matter today? What you wore 2 years ago? That's how inconsequential it is. हम उसको कितना बड़ा बना देते हैं कि तुम्हारा ड्रेसिंग स्टाइल 2 साल बाद आपको याद भी नहीं रहेगा मेरा ड्रेसिंग स्टाइल क्या था. मेरे को 4 महीने बाद नहीं याद रहेगा मेरा ड्रेसिंग स्टाइल क्या था. बिकॉज वी कीप इवॉल्विंग, वी कीप चेंजिंग, ट्रेंड्स कीप चेंजिंग. आप शॉपिंग करने जाओगे वही चेंज होता रहेगा. So it's not like I can buy blue sweaters for the next 6 years. Those sweaters won't be available. So every time trends are also changing. My shopping style will change. What you see around is what you learn. That will change. It will keep evolving. So I feel if someone is telling you something deeply about, let's say, a toxicity, you should definitely look into it. But I think what we spoke about, that respect factor, respect language and love language, I don't think that you can prove to anybody that you truly love them, you truly respect them by convincing them.
And
I think they have to be able to see it.
and if they don't see it, how do
You have to live with that. You have to make peace with it.
you have to part
honestly,
ways?
No, why do you have to part ways? You can respectfully live in the fact that कोई बात नहीं, उनको नहीं समझ आता. I'll still do my bit. You know, let's say you have a 5-year-old, huh? And the minute the 5-year-old cries, what do? You go and run and pick them up and say, इसको भूख लगी है, इसको ठंड लग रही है, इसने अच्छे से खाया नहीं है, maybe she's sleepy. So you will think of 5 reasons why your child is crying. Now an adult, your partner, your sibling, your parent cries for help. Now obviously we're not toddlers, so we're not going to just start crying. We'll have different ways of showing we are crying for help. Why we become blind? What are you crying for? What are you complaining for? Why is our response like that? Why can't we be that kind-hearted to one another of any age that we can be to a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old? So I think we also lack compassion in response. If your mother, let's say, is upset with her husband, for example, your father's chick to another level and she's fed up. She takes out that frustration on you. Why can't we have understanding for that? We'll have it for our 10-year-old, went to school, आज बेचारी sports day भी करके आई, इतनी थकी वैसे चिड़चिड़ कर रही है. You can't understand your mother's चिड़चिड़, but why? I'm just saying, why is the compassion always expected from the other person? Why the mother, the father, the mother-in-law, father-in-law, the elder, grandparent, why they all should be compassionate towards you, but why are you not able to be compassionate? Today, my mother's criticizing, saying morning, and maybe something else is her underlying issue. Why can't we see that?
So basically, what we have discussed here or identified as a problem in relationship with families is the idea of respect. You said respect equals pain. I was saying respect equals silence in a lot of our families, and that
even that silence becomes pain, no? Because you're silent for so long, it's silent suffering. So it's pain in the end.
Or you're expected to be silent, but you're not, and that's another problem then.
Yeah.
क्योंकि आप इतने अपने लिए स्टैंड ले रहे हो, आप उसको देखते हो कि मैं तो अपने लिए स्टैंड ले रही हूँ, मैं क्यों साइलेंट रहूँ, आपको लगता है मैं सही के लिए हूँ, आई एम राइट इन माई सेइंग दिस एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. तो वो एक अलग लेवल ऑफ प्रॉब्लम बन जाता है. बट एसेंशियली बॉटम लाइन इज दिस दैट यू आर नॉट रिस्पेक्टफुल टू योर family that you live with. What is the common challenge that you see comes between siblings? उस रिलेशनशिप को अगर हम बात करें, बिकॉज जब हम रिलेशनशिप्स की बात करते हैं ना, तो हम चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा की बात करते हैं, चाइल्डहुड की बात करते हैं. ऑफ कोर्स पेरेंट्स का रोल, दे आर योर फर्स्ट फिगर्स दैट यू लुक अप टू, उनके बारे में बहुत बात होती है. आपका पार्टनर जो है बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट रिलेशनशिप आपकी लाइफ में, उसके बारे में बहुत बात होती है. फ्रेंड्स के बारे में भी बात हो जाती है. लेकिन मुझे लगता है सिबलिंग्स जो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रिलेशनशिप है, जो
एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट,
बहुत ओवरलुक्ड है. और ये खुद सिबलिंग्स भी आपस में, अगर आप अडल्ट्स को देखो, बहुत कम ऐसे फैमिलीज है जहाँ आप देखते हो कि आपके पेरेंट्स के अपने सिबलिंग्स के साथ बहुत अच्छे रिलेशनशिप हैं.
या
अच्छे रिलेशनशिप का मतलब ये नहीं कि आप उनके हर इवेंट पे जाते हो, आपके हर इवेंट पे आते हैं. अच्छे इवेंट का मतलब है कि जब आप उनके लिए पीछे से कैसे बात करते हो. अच्छा, मामा को वो मत बताना, अच्छा वो मामा आएंगे तो ये ऐसे कर देंगे, या वो बुआ आएगी तो वैसे कर देंगे. समथिंग लाइक दैट यू आर somewhere not fully accepting and fully loving and all.
Yeah, there's no transparency in the relationship. It's all a facade.
There is, sometimes it could be a 90% facade and 10% real. Sometimes there could be 90% real and 10% facade. But the 100% thing is very, very rare, where there is absolute love for your sibling and all of that. Let's talk about the challenges that occur in a sibling relationship. And B, first let's talk about this challenge part, then we'll get to the next.
I think firstly we need to understand that any 2 children or 3 children, which is commonly the number of children that people have by and large, 2 or 3. When 2 children or 3 children are born to a particular set of parents, firstly, those 3 kids or 2 kids don't experience the same parents. The first child experiences young parents. the first child experiences first time parents. So first time parents कैसे होते हैं? Extremely careful, extremely loving, extremely giving. They have all the energy, all the care. They want everything that child should try. First time, you try and buy the best bibs. You will try and do all the activities possible. In your first pregnancy also, you will do all the activities that are listed on the internet or listed by the gynac or listed by the healthcare providers. जो भी आप पढ़ोगे लिखोगे आप वो सब करोगे क्योंकि आप फर्स्ट टाइमर हो. First time you try swimming, what do you do? Exactly wear the swimming socks, the swimming cap, the right bathing suit. You will buy 5 variety, but probably after 10 years, you wouldn't put that much of dedication into all of that, right? The same thing happens when the second pregnancy happens. The mother's far more chilled out. She knows what happens with the first child. The father also knows first तो इतना अच्छा हो गया, अभी second भी तो हो ही जाएगा. कितनी हमने मेहनत की, अब थोड़ा ना second कोई गलत होएगा. So the effort becomes much
Or we
lesser.
know.
So no, it's not even about knowing. It's just that you become a little complacent. Whatever you try first time in your life will be very different to second time. The first time you go and fly in an airplane, the way you'll be excited, the way you'll prepare for it, the way you'll have thoughts about it, you'll dream about it. Second time or third time you take a flight, you'll be like, flight hi hai, पहुंच जाऊंगी.
Or the way you'll
Then you think about other things. Time pe पहुंचा, will the takeoff happen? Will the check-in happen? How much baggage do I have? You'll worry about other things. You won't be actually thinking and fantasizing about the flight. But the first time you'll romanticize that flight. I think same thing happens with the child. The first child that is born to a parent, the parents are so excited. They put in everything, right? Now that's the parent that child is experiencing. The second child doesn't experience that parent that the first child experiences. The second child experiences the little thaka hua parent. In the sense that they know what is happening. They will not be overexcited about trying every little activity. They leave a lot to the first sibling to give it to the second sibling. भैया के साथ कर लो, दीदी के साथ कर लो. Go with the class. She's going, you also go. So what happens is that second child experiences the parent very differently, relies on the sibling a lot as a role model. The first child is not relying on the second child as a role model. The first child is relying on the parent as a role model. So I think the dynamic shift happens when those two children grow up. Because the reliability of the second child on the first child is a lot. The first child's reliability is not on the second child. The reliability is on the parents. Because उसके तो रोल मॉडल सिर्फ पेरेंट्स ही थे. सेकंड चाइल्ड के लिए पेरेंट्स एंड फर्स्ट सिबलिंग 3 लोग थे. So the view of the world is very different when you're growing up. I think that becomes a stark difference in personalities. People always say, my first one is very, does everything by the T. The second one doesn't listen only. But why? Because the first time you put all that effort for that child to listen to the T, and the second time you left it. So we don't realize that what we are putting in is the, input versus equals to output. It also is that. And I think that changes dynamic relationships. First time you'll say, beta, be very careful when you go swimming. Second, say, दीदी ने किया आप नहीं कर सकते, फटाफट जाओ पानी में. Go figure it out. So I think that there the personality shift happens, and that's where I think sibling rivalry may come in, comparison may come in, competition may come in. And I think sibling bonds largely are how parents treat the children in front of each other.
Say more about that.
I think, let's say there are 2 brothers and the father keeps saying that the first one is very intelligent, second one is nikamma, or the other way around. First one to padhta nahi hai, tu bevkoof hai, gaaliyan denge, ya, they'll be very condescending towards the first one and they'll praise the second one. First one will become hateful towards the second. Vice versa. So if comparison is done, if one is shouted at a lot, one is shown a lot of extra care. This one's a poor eater, mother sitting and feeding. The second one, फटाफट आपकी second roti आइए खत्म करो. So how the second one feels? मेरे को तो पूछते नहीं, मेरे को तो won't say it. But inside they start to feel like because of this sibling, I don't get the care I deserve. So those kind of feelings can become very big when they grow up, not realizing. Nobody realizes these patterns. But okay, आप सोचोगे because of this brother I didn't get what I needed, or because of the elder sister I didn't get what I should have got the care. Now that kind of friction has lasted in so many different formats, not realizing it was just the mother feeding was the sister or the brother was a poor eater and you were not. But imagine the battle becomes so big at 45. So like you said, then the facade happens from the front, but inside you're holding those feelings ki no, I have missed out in life. I have missed out in life because of this. इसकी वजह से मुझे वो प्यार नहीं मिला जो मुझे मिलना चाहिए था.
ये तो ऐसा ही है, ये इसका पर्सनालिटी तो ऐसा ही है, या ये तो जेलस है, ये कंपेटिटिव है,
Yeah.
या
I
ये
think
पेरेंट्स को इम्प्रेस करने के लिए कर रहा है, या
exactly.
किसी और को, whatever.
Whatever, like the notions you have created throughout your childhood, and then you take them subconsciously, unconsciously, consciously, you take them into adult life and you make them personality traits. You have labeled your siblings with those personalities. Sometimes parents have very healthy homes where, you know, they treat the siblings equally. You'll see some very beautiful relationships between siblings. They are 40, 45, 50, they do holidays together, they roam around together, their kids are very close. You can tell that the parents didn't do comparison, didn't compare, didn't shout, didn't differentiate.
So, Ashna, this is what the parents have done a good job. Let's say the parents don't have as much as understanding and they have done the job that they knew how to do, which is they compared the two. भैया ने नहीं किया ना, आप कर लो, या भैया ने ऐसे किया तो आप कर लो, you know, आप उनसे better करो, आप ऐसे करो. Maybe their understanding of the world was limited, or that is what they knew parenting as.
Correct.
Because parenting भी 1000 तरीके से evolve हो गई पिछले 30 years में. अगर आप देखो
Absolutely.
तो बहुत तरह से parenting evolve हो गई, बहुत सारे parenting styles आ गए हैं, कितने सारे नाम है, label है. Let's not get into all of that, right? So let's say these two parents, they have raised them in the way that they knew the best, और अब raising up हो गया है ना. ये सही कि ऐसे भी siblings हम देखते हैं कि जिनका बहुत अच्छा relationship है, जो साथ में holiday कर रहे हैं, सब कुछ कर रहे हैं, और आपको वहाँ दिखता है कि parents ने अच्छे से raise किया.
नहीं, not necessarily अच्छे से parents ने raise किया. They have let go of all those inner
That's what I want to
voices
come to him.
and inner judgments that may have been formed as a child. So I'm 3 sisters. I'll give you my example. I'm the eldest and I have 2 younger sisters. And growing up, I was always responsible for them. You know, I was always told, whatever you'll do, you're setting an example. You must get it right, because if you get it wrong, they will follow your footsteps.
High five.
Yeah.
Eldest sister.
Yeah.
2 brothers, eldest sister.
Yeah. So you are kind of like set to be that example. Now, the amount of pressure I had to do right in life, because I was like, ये तो बोझ मेरे पे है. इनकी वजह से I can't, you know, mess up. I can't have a boyfriend in high school like everybody else did. I didn't experiment with life because everybody else did, because I am the prime example to my sibling. But I did not make that a reason to despise my siblings or feel otherwise about them. What can they do? That was my understanding as a child. And my parents were only trying to set an example. They didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. Now, I have not held on to it. But imagine me holding on to it. I'll still see my siblings as that burden that I can't live my life fully because they are around. So I'm saying it depends on you. That if you try and fix whatever subconscious decisions you may have made as a child, because we must have made so many. Realizing, unrealizing, we all do, right? I meet you in the first 10 or 15 minutes, I must have made some notions about you in my head by your body language, by the way you spoke to me, by the way you spoke to the camera guy, by the way you spoke to your husband who walked in. So I may have also made those certain decisions or certain conclusions about you. But who said they're right? They're just my opinion. Now, after 2.5 hours, I spent 3 days with you, will be completely different. But it's up to me to be flexible about it. So I think no matter what your relationship started as with your siblings, could have started very rotten, could have gotten very beautiful. Maybe parents did everything right and today you don't even speak to each other because you have messed it up. So I just feel like don't hold on to things that happened in childhood as far as siblings are concerned, because a million things could have happened for a million reasons that are beyond your understanding. When you were 7 or 10, you don't know what kind of financial situation your house was in. You had no understanding of it. That may have put pressure for your parents to behave in a certain way with you and your sibling. That ruined your relationship between you siblings. But you don't know that today. You don't have to hold on to it and be like, I can't get along with my sister since I was a kid. So I think as an adult, like that's what I said, in your late teenage years, there's a lot of realization to go back and look at why. Why am I who I am? Why is my family how are they? Why is my value system the way it is? Value system also comes from there. And we take those values into our marriage, into our children, as parents, as siblings, as spouses, as friends. We practice those values in all spheres of our life. But we should question them. Where are they coming from? And were they right? Because those certain situations may have formed those values at that time. May have suited my grandma and my mother to have those values. Are they suiting me? Are they giving me a healthy life? So I think it's very important at every stage to question that how am I functioning and from what thought process am I functioning?
I also want to talk about toxic love between the siblings. Now, with our family, to our parents, to our siblings, जिनके साथ हम रहते हैं, उनके साथ जब हमारे झगड़े होते हैं तो हम किसी भी तरह की बात बोल सकते हैं, किसी भी टोन में चिल्ला सकते हैं, कुछ कुछ ऐसी बातें भी बोल सकते हैं हर्टफुल जो नहीं बोलनी चाहिए, और वो हो जाती है आपके रिलेशनशिप में। और आपका लेकिन 2 दिन बाद वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट खत्म भी होता है, क्योंकि फैमिली में आप हो, आप साथ में खा रहे हो पी रहे हो, तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट खत्म भी होता है, या करना भी पड़ता है, या पेरेंट्स खत्म करा देते हैं, आप खुद खत्म कर देते हो। एंड देन यू से कि ओ आई लव माई ब्रदर सिस्टर सो मच, you know what I'm trying to say is that आप एक conflict में जी रहे होते हो. Same conflict happens within your relationship with your parents and with your sibling also, कि आपका कुछ भी मैच नहीं हो रहा है या बहुत कुछ मैच नहीं हो रहा है, लेकिन you have to say that you love them because you genuinely love them also, and same happens with your siblings also. So how does one find like a healthy balance here of कि my love is not, or the relationship is not toxic, where you don't like the person but you love them. You understand what I'm saying? I don't like you. I don't like how you say talk. I don't like how you think about things. I don't like your friends. I don't like your choices in life. But I love you because you are my sibling. Then who actually are you loving? Sometimes I feel that
think
happens
that's
with your partners also.
I think it's the belief system, no? Our belief system as a child is you have to love your parents and you have to love your siblings. I think that is so deep rooted as humans. Blood is thicker than water is the oldest saying in the book, right? And I think just as humans and this is not about any religion, caste, color, country. I think as humans, we are told that without parents and siblings, who's your identity? Without the lineage, हु आर यू. तो अगर वो इतना अंदर हमारे अंदर वो बात कूट कूट के डाली गई है कि विदाउट योर ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स, विदाउट योर सरनेम आप कौन हो, हु नोज यू, कि हम सब आइडेंटिटी के पीछे भागते हैं, हम सब अपनी लिनेज के पीछे भागते हैं, हम सरनेम के पीछे भागते हैं. आई वोंट चेंज माई सरनेम, आई वॉन्ट माई सरनेम, आई डोंट वॉन्ट माई सरनेम, आई विल नॉट यूज, आई हैड अ टॉक्सिक father, I don't want to use his surname. Is that surname really going to change who you are? Like, honestly, if you see the really large picture, right? If your life is between 0 and 80 on an average, और अगर आपने 80 years निकाल दिए रो रो के अपने सरनेम पे, अपनी आइडेंटिटी पे, अपने पेरेंट्स पे, अपने ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स पे, अपनी लिनेज पे, मेरा रिलीजन ये है, मेरा सरनेम ये है, आपने ये सारे झंडे गाड़ लिए और आप लड़ रहे हैं इन चीज़ पे 80 years पे. जब आप 80 पे फाइनली पहुंचेंगे, you'll realize it is so inconsequential because who cares? It is your belief system. So like you said, that you may have a very toxic relationship with the parents or the sibling, but you love them because I think that's a false belief system. If I cannot respect who you are, if I don't respect Shobha in her choices, as a person, I don't respect your thought process, I cannot truly love you. By me saying I do actually still love you, I don't like you, I think it's false.
You know, the word that you used was respect, and the word that I was using was like. I'll tell you where I'm coming from, and this is not only relationship with your parents and your siblings, but also with your partners, let's say. You know, sometimes it happens that you don't like a person, but you say that you love them. You know, like with your spouse also, with your siblings also, you don't like I said, a lot of their choices. You don't like their friends. You don't like their career path or whatever, XYZ, their everyday behavior, their certain habits, their whatever. You criticize them on all of that, but you still love them. So how do you draw a very healthy boundary of the understanding of what is it that I'm actually loving?
I think one is understanding that firstly we all are very different.
Or should you love beyond these differences?
I think depends what the differences are. So if they're very minuscule differences, like I don't like her dressing style, I don't like her choice of food, I don't like the fact that she doesn't play a sport, I don't like the fact that she never reads, she only watches TV shows. I mean, these are really like frivolous choices, and I feel like they can really be overlooked. You like or you don't like is a personal choice. I may be living my life a particular way, my sister is probably living her life a particular way. Like, I give you an example. I like things very properly and very orderly. Like, I will keep everything back to where it is. I'll make sure everything is very neat and clean. I leave a hotel room, people will wonder if I've stayed there also or not. Like, I'm that particular about making things are clean, neat or whatever. That is just my personality trait. Let's say my husband's not like that. He's kind of the opposite. You know, wherever he walks, things are lying there, and then he walks to the next one, and things are lying there, and he walks to the next one, things are lying there. Now, I can't base my love on that. That is just a personality trait. He has not learned to tidy up as a child, for example. And that has not become his personality trait for how many ever years. I met him in his, after his midlife was over, right? I met him halfway through his life. I can't suddenly change him. So I can tell him I would appreciate if you can pick up half the things that are leaving behind because I like them that way. That is love and respect mutual. But I don't think I can change that about him. And expecting that change is also, I think, not acceptable. Why will somebody change that? So as far as the differences, my point of giving the example was, as far as the differences are that small, अगर आपकी सिर्फ हैबिट्स अलग हैं तो कोई बात नहीं, आपके चॉइस भी फ्रेंड्स अलग हैं. सम पीपल लाइक फ्रेंड्स हु आर वेरी loud and they like to go out every day and they like to go drinking and they're partying and XYZ. My sister might like those kind of friends, and let's say I have the quiet geeky type of friends who play games at home and board games खेल के good night बोल के हम 10 o'clock अपने अपने घर चले जाते हैं. But that doesn't make me love her less or like her less. I think those are just choices. As far as I think love comes from much deeper place where you question somebody's intentions. So I think if I question my sibling's intentions and I'm not sure about her intentions, and if I feel like her intentions are wrong, that's probably where the love will go missing. Forget the like and the respect part. Because like and respect is all surface based. Ki acha, she gets up very, she keeps the house very nicely. I really like it. Or she keeps the house very dirty. मुझे बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं, पर मेरी बहन है, I love her. लोग ऐसे बोलते हैं ना, but that is just a personality trait. That is not who she is at the core.
I'll tell you why I asked this question. I asked this question because a lot of conflicts that we have with our parent or our sibling or with our partners is because of the choices they have. Constantly, more so with your partner. आप वो अपने हेल्थ को कैसे देखते हैं, आपका वहाँ पे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होगा कि आप अपने फिजिकल बॉडी के लिए कुछ क्यों नहीं करते हो, आप एक्सरसाइज क्यों नहीं करते हो, आप अपना ध्यान क्यों नहीं रखते हो. वो अपने फाइनेंसेस को कैसे देखते हैं, वहाँ पे अगर उनकी चॉइसेस बहुत अलग है जो आपको नहीं समझ में आती तो वहाँ पे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होता है. तो एसेंशियली जो आपके कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स होते हैं वो इन चॉइसेस पर ही होते हैं, और वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स ऐसा शेप ले लेते हैं दैट यू फील दैट डू आई रियली लव दिस पर्सन और आई डोंट लव दिस पर्सन.
बट आई डोंट सी लव लाइक दैट. जैसे आपने एग्जांपल दिया कि मेरे हस्बैंड, मेरा हस्बैंड हेल्थ का ध्यान नहीं रखते हैं, वो हस्बैंड, दैट्स अ हस्बैंड प्रॉब्लम, दैट्स नॉट अ माय प्रॉब्लम. लाइक
exactly
that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of it also in our society is it's almost like control. We want, our parents want to control us, then we want to control our partners, then we want to control our kids. It's a chain, because ancestry is what we've seen. The grandparents controlled the parents and the parents controlled us, and now we are thinking हमारे पास तो कोई नहीं कंट्रोल कर, चलो पार्टनर को कंट्रोल करते हैं. बच्चे तो आजकल कंट्रोल होते नहीं है, तो हम पार्टनर्स को ही कर लेते हैं.
बच्चे होते भी नहीं है.
That's what I'm saying. बच्चे तो होते ही नहीं है, तो बच्चा कौन, एक पार्टनर ही बच्चा, उसी को कंट्रोल कर लेते हैं. In the end, you can, as a partner, as a loving spouse, as a loving girlfriend, boyfriend, you can say that, buddy, you're eating too much sugar, you're going to be diabetic, you really should think about it. You can warn them. You can even prevent going for ice cream after dinner, going to many coffee shops because वहाँ पे dessert, cookie offer. I mean, you can try all those things, but you can't literally make somebody give up sugar, for example, if that's the problem. And you can't force somebody to look into their health. I think even financial issues, I think in today's day and age, everybody is educated or aware enough to see what they want. And you can only influence, you can only ask, give your opinion कि मेरे हिसाब से, I can be like, let's say I'm your partner. Shobha, I went in the morning and I met this guy and he was telling me आजकल ये funds निकले, we must invest. I'm thinking ऐसे ऐसे करना चाहिए, फायदा होगा 5 साल में ये होगा. No, it's up to you if you understand, if you don't. I can't stop loving you because you don't have understanding for those finances. I think those choices are still very surface-based choices, and I don't think surface-based choices depict love. I don't think they are deep-rooted enough. I think deep-rooted things are value system. The deep-rooted things are intention. And जब आप किसी की intentions को doubt करोगे, आप किसी के value system को doubt करोगे, that's when the love may go away.
You're right actually, because I have experienced it first hand. मैंने अपनी लाइफ में ऐसे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स भी देखे हैं और ऐसे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स में रही हूँ जहाँ पे मुझे चॉइसेस पे डिपेंडेंट था माई लव. That was not, I didn't know what unconditional love is. I think a lot of us don't know.
Yeah.
If you grow up in families where love was always conditional, and most of us grow up in families where love is conditional. How many of us have parents जिन्होंने कभी आपको ज्यादा मार्क्स लाने पर अच्छी चीजें नहीं दिलाई होंगी और कम मार्क्स आने पर डांटा नहीं होगा? So that is condition, right?
Yeah, it's reward system.
It's reward
so
system.
So you feel like कुछ अच्छा किया, reward मिलेगा, नहीं मिला. As a kid तो वो टॉफी, चॉकलेट, स्टार, गोल्ड स्टार, whatever the reward was, reward system में आप बड़े हुए, which is 99% of us. But like I said, there comes a point in life you have to understand that you stop living from that reward point of view. Because with your spouse, I mean, today I'm at a certain age and my husband at a certain age, if today I live with that reward system mindset, my God, I'm doomed. I cannot. I have to accept him for who he is. Whatever choices he's making is for himself. As long as his intention and his value system towards me, that as a wife, what his value system is, what his intention towards his wife is, as long as those match up to what I want, my love is there.
Now let's come to one of the most important relationship that we will have in our lives, and that is with our partner, with our spouse, with our boyfriend, girlfriend, शादी से पहले, शादी के बाद, different stages of our life पे जो हमारे partners होते हैं, उनके साथ हमारे या एक ही partner at all stages होते हैं, whatever. तो let's talk about relationship with the partners. What do you see as common patterns getting repeated or going wrong, or the common challenges when we talk about relationship with the partners?
I think the most common pattern, I think, that leads to issues is emotional intimacy missing, but acceptance of relationship despite that. So I'll explain it as, when people feel we do everything together, all our activities are together, all our friends are together, our eating habits are together, we watch the same movies, but there's no emotional intimacy.
What is emotional intimacy, first of all?
Where you're able to express truthfully how you feel, who you are, without fear of judgment, and fully accepting your partner and being fully accepted for who you are. So let's say, for example, I'm a slightly dishonest person. I can, and not willingly, not knowingly, but if I'm telling you a story, let's say you're my partner and I'm telling you a story, I'll put some little mirch masala into it. Let's say some people have a habit, right? They were walking home from work and they saw a robbery. When they describe the robbery, it'll have a lot more components than actually when the robbery happened. Now, one is the partner calls out and says, oh, please, I'm sure this didn't even happen. You're such a story maker. They pull you down. One is, I'm sure the robbery happened. I'm sure 70% of her story is true. 30% was fabricated. She has a little habit. You ignore it. Acceptance of a trait that is not accepted by friends, by society, by people you know, but as a partner. Because we all have our flaws. Aren't we all flawed in some way or the other? So I'm just saying that your partner truly accepting some flaws of yours.
Let me talk about a very common flaw that I keep hearing in relationship, that people not liking their partner, especially women, because they gossip. That is one very big flaw that I keep hearing between relationships. कि अरे तो बहुत gossip करती है, तो बहुत jealous type की है. So people are not able to accept that flaw. तो उसके साथ क्या करना चाहिए?
Partners don't accept that flaw.
हाँ, मतलब the spouse, the husband or the boyfriend keeps.
But a husband and boyfriend must have experienced this trait, let's say, of gossiping or talking extra behind, the current affairs that are happening. I'm sure that they experienced it, accepted it, hence they let it happen.
So they gotten into a relationship, even if they knew, because जब relationship शुरू होता है तो आप ये सब flaws देखते भी हो तो ignore कर देते हो. But when it goes to the relationship progresses, especially जब शादी हो जाती है, तो उसके बाद फिर आपकी acceptance level बहुत कम हो जाती है इन चीज़ों के लिए. You say कि तुम्हारा तो काम ही gossip करना है, तुम्हारा तो काम ही दूसरों के बारे में बोलना है या सोचना है. तो आई एम ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट वी आर सेइंग कि हम सभी में फ्लॉज होंगे और उसको एक्सेप्ट करना है. इमोशनल इंटीमेसी है, तो इन दो लोगों के बीच में इमोशनल इंटीमेसी कैसे होगी?
I think firstly the partner has to understand that if this wife or the husband has a habit of gossiping, where is it coming from? It must be coming from some sort of lack of love, lack of acceptance, lack of job, lack of concrete things to work on. अगर आप सुबह से लेके रात तक busy हैं, let's say you have a work life, you have a family life, you have kids or you don't have kids, you have parents to take care of, you have kids to take care of, you have grandparents to take care of, you have people in your life that you take care of, you have work to take care of, you have so many aspects, right? किसके पास इतना time है? Now let's say you have a wife who you're claiming is perpetually gossiping and you're putting her down and again कि तुम्हारा तो काम ही कुछ नहीं है, तुम तो पूरा टाइम gossip ही करती रहती हो. But try to understand why she's gossiping. Why not get into it? Why not sit her down? And if you genuinely have a problem and you want to have an emotionally intimate relationship, ask her, where is it coming from? Lack of respect for self. क्योंकि जब आप खुद को respect नहीं करते, आप क्या करते हो? दूसरों को नीचा दिखाते हो, ताकि you can feel superior. So you'll come home and be like, पता है neighbor वाली के साथ क्या हुआ? उसका तो affair चल रहा है. आपको पता है उसका क्या हुआ? उसका ये चल रहा है. आपको पता है उसके साथ क्या हुआ? You're putting everybody down. Why? You want to feel self-elevated. So you ask your spouse, are they feeling lack of respect? Are they feeling disrespected by you or by the society or by themselves? खुद ही लग रहा है inferiority complex कि आप लाइफ में अच्छा नहीं कर पा रहे. आप देख रहे हो आपकी नेबर बहुत बड़ी फैशन डिजाइनर बन गई, आप देख रहे हो आपकी एक और फ्रेंड बिजनेस वुमन बन गया, आप देख रहे हो आपकी एक फ्रेंड पॉडकास्टर बन गया, आप देख रहे हो एक आपकी फ्रेंड कुछ और बन गया. आप क्या करोगे? आपके पास कुछ नहीं है करने के लिए. हाउ डू यू फील बेटर अबाउट योर सेल्फ? यू विल टॉक डाउन अबाउट एवरीबडी. So a lot of times when people are gossiping is they're trying to feel good enough. So I think as a partner try to understand that कि where is it coming from? It's so आसान right to say उसको तो gossip करने की आदत है. But why? Why is she gossiping? Make her feel good enough. Add to her life. Give her something to do. Maybe if she has something to do, she won't be gossiping. So I think as a partner, it is our duty, it is our responsibility to help somebody else also grow. Not just grow alone. It is my job also as a wife to make sure my husband's floating in the right direction. If I am. And if I'm not first, I need to fix myself. But if I feel today I'm in a good place, I want to make sure he is also. So if he's sitting and gossiping and wasting his time, I would guide him. Like I would tell him, where is it coming from? This lack of conversation is because you feel lack of self somewhere. Hence you're covering it up and covering time and, putting everybody down. That's my understanding of it.
So what you were saying is that emotional intimacy is of prime value and then everything else comes later.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people kill that. I think a lot of people become okay not having emotional intimacy, but having everything else going in the relationship. So they'll do school chores together, they'll do breakfast chores together, they'll do house chores together, they'll do bills together, they'll do everything else, but they won't talk about how they really feel because now they're used to the silence. Now they're used to suppressing how they feel. And they say, our marriage is very good, hum to ladte bhi nahi. Because they're not really actually discussing anything that they really feel. 5 things may have happened in the day, but you don't want to approach your husband because what will he say? Let's say he turns around and says, तुम तो oversensitive हो, तुम तो हर चीज के बुरा लगता है. Or he turns around and say, oh my God, again you're crying about something. Or he turns around and say, your friend ki problems don't end. So in the end, what do you think to yourself? Forget it, I'm not going to share with him. He'll criticize.
His response is going to be only this.
He's going to dismiss it. So that creates emotional, no intimacy. Sorry, I'll use another word. What is an opposite of intimacy?
I don't know. Suddenly, I also don't know.
So that will be a lack of emotional intimacy. And you kind of become
distance.
Yeah, emotionally distant, and you'll become used to it and you'll feel everything else is floating. मैं अपनी feelings समझा के बता के क्या ही करूंगी, लड़ाई होगी, फालतू में छोड़ो ना. I'll talk to my girlfriends. I go for lunches, I go for kitty parties, I go for girls' nights out. I'm emotionally fulfilled.
It's funny that you talked about having girlfriends. The need to have girlfriends suddenly rises once you're in your mid-30s or you're in your 40s. I'm seeing it as a trend. कि पहले लाइफ में आप जो भी कर रहे थे but 35 के बाद suddenly I see women taking holidays with their friends. Suddenly this idea of sisterhood, girlfriends all coming up. क्यों आता है ये 40s में, late 40s में, 50s में, 60s में क्यों आता है ये?
I think a lot of it also has to do with Instagram, no? I think a lot of people are doing it for the gram, doing it for social media. I don't know how much of it is genuine because genuinely you can't have 15 close friends.
No, not 15.
It's not
close
humanly
friends.
possible to be close to 15 women at the same time in the same group. You know that herd mentality. अगर आप स्कूल में थे, आपकी क्लास में 15 लड़कियां थी और 15 लड़के थे, 30 kids in my class. For example, when I was growing up, I was not best friends with all 15 of them. So how suddenly I've formed this own classroom of my own and I'm best friends with all 15? It's not really like humanly possible. You may be fond of each one of them, because the more, like I said, you accept yourself, you start to see the good in everybody and you start to see the flaws. Like I said, everybody's flawed. We all are flawed. Let's just accept that. It'll be so much easier to get on with life, so much easier to interact with everybody. But at the same time, you can't love everybody. So I think that is also slightly false.
One must find frequent windows to also analyze in a manner that you question yourself of your choices, that, okay, fine, I'm going out to chill, I'm going out of fun, but what is my idea of fun? Because fun, chilling out has become such a loose term and such a vague term also that sometimes I feel that 50 लोग अगर फन कर रहे हैं तो 50 लोगों का फन का डेफिनेशन सेम कैसे है?
That's what I was telling you earlier, no? If you ask 10 people what is their favorite thing to do on a Saturday night, all 10 will have different things to say. But that herd mentality has come in. Like you said, 20 लोगों का idea of fun same तो नहीं हो सकता. So let's say you plan a trip to Mussoorie. Now 20 girls have decided to go. Firstly, there'll be one or two leaders who will decide that let's form a group and let's add this one and let's add that one. Half of them will go because they're seeking new friendships. Some people's motive is I'll make new friends. Some people's motive is I'll get out this rut. Some people's motive is I have guests coming on that weekend. Thank God I'll get away. Tell my husband there's a girls trip, I have to go. So everyone's motive to come on that trip also may be very different. Let's say those two leaders who have decided are escaping from their partners. But let's say the other 18 have very, very different motives to come on that trip. One feels like for 1 year she's been like a nanny to her kid. She's not had help. She's not had anybody. Finally, her mother is coming from US to stay with her. She's like, chalo, I can finally get away for the weekend. Some trip has come. I'm so glad I'm going to say yes to it. So I just feel like everybody may have a different reason and everyone's not going to enjoy it in the same way. None of us can enjoy the same thing in the same way because we all are wired so differently. So your guy can come in right now and give us 2 black coffees. You will enjoy your black coffee very differently than I do. I probably like almond milk. You probably like sugar. I probably like only black. You probably say I like regular milk. I'll probably say I like it cold. You'll probably say I like it hot. एक कॉफी में ही अगर 75 वेरिएशंस हो सकती हैं, आप सोचो लाइकिंग की, तो लाइफ में तो कितनी ही वेरिएशंस है. And our understanding of it depending on our own conditioning, our own way of growing up. So my point is not that experiment at 20, enjoy at 20 and don't at 40. That's not my point. My point is that whatever you're doing, question why you're doing it. Even if at 20 you want to let loose, you want to go explore the world, but your intention is just to let loose and enjoy the world, do it. But if your intention is to run away from home, ask yourself why you're running away from home. So even at 40, ask why. You want to do that girl's trip because you need a break from your life, do it. But if you want to do it because you're running away from a toxic marriage, you're running away from toxic in-laws, you're running away from toxic parents, you're running away from toxic siblings, no, fix the toxicity. Running away won't help. So my point is that you enjoy yourself at whatever point. Ask yourself as long as you're not running away from something.
So basically get into that self-analysis, which is relationship with the self. Why am I doing what I'm doing at this point in life? That needs to be very, very clear. So we talked about relationship in all these 4 buckets, where we have talked about relationship with, your family, your siblings, your partner, your children, and also relationship with self. So what has come out from this conversation for viewers is that relationship with self is something that really needs to be looked into very, very carefully now.
Yeah.
Whichever stage of life you are at, you need to stop, take a pause and ask yourself that what do I think about myself? What do I think of myself?
Yeah.
Because these are off and about also are 2 different things.
Also, how am I actually genuinely functioning? Like I gave you an example in the beginning. You may think you're very honest, but are you? You know, your definition of honesty to yourself is also honest or not. So you actually question, sit and observe your own actions, your own reactions. When you say something to me, and let's say, there's some people who say, very casually, they say, मुझे तो गुस्सा ही नहीं आता. I am somebody who doesn't get angry. But maybe you're somebody who suppresses all that anger. Anger तो सबको आता है. गुस्सा एक ऐसा इमोशन है, प्यार एक ऐसा इमोशन है, रोना एक ऐसा इमोशन है, हैप्पीनेस एक. These all emotions are experienced by all human beings. We all have the same body, the same 2 eyes, the same nose, the same brain, wired differently. है उसमें सारे emotions same. We may experience them a little differently. So आपका way of venting your anger may be silently crying in the bathroom. My way of venting anger may be screaming at somebody. गुस्सा सबको आता है. So when somebody claims मुझे तो गुस्सा आता ही नहीं, that's kind of a false claim to self. So I'm talking about वो आप अपने आप से झूठ बोल रहे हो. अपने आप को झूठ मत बोलो. दूसरे को बोल रहे हो. You're convincing yourself or you're convincing others, I don't know. At least be honest with yourself. Yes, I get angry. How do I vent my anger? Ask that.
What is the healthy way?
What is the healthy way?
My anger?
Do I not process it? Do I suppress it? 5 years down, it'll turn into a physical disease. Because you have suppressed that much anger. And you're holding all those negative feelings. There's some people who answer in their head. You say something to them, they don't respond back to you. Silence. Silent treatment. Their way of dealing with their anger is silent treatment. They are filling their body with that toxic answer because they're responding inside. And what happens when we don't address something? It becomes bigger and bigger and bigger in your head because you're not solving it. So I just feel, sit and observe your own reactions. Be honest with yourself of your own personality traits. Why are you the way you are? And who really are you? And let's first become transparent. You will start accepting everybody. Because the minute you start accepting yourself, like I said, we all are flawed.
It becomes very easy, and this is a thing which is like a lot of things is very experiential. It needs to be done to experience this. If you hear it on a podcast that, you have to...
It can be a start.
It can be a start.
It was a start
but
for me.
Logically, it doesn't sit, right, that, if I understand myself, or if I am accepting of myself, I'll become accepting of everybody else. How will I become accepting of the toxicity of the world and all of that? But really, if you walk that path enough,
Yeah.
for long enough, and if you kind of solve for your own self, then this automatically sits into place. Like, I feel that you don't need to solve every problem.
You don't.
And that's what we feel, that we need to solve every.
That's what
when
I'm saying.
in
It's
the
all
role
about
of a-
control.
yeah. So when I'm in the role of a wife, I feel that I need to solve for these 10 problems. When I'm
Yeah.
in the role of a mother, I need to solve for these 10 problems. When I'm in the role of
A daughter.
businesswoman,
Yeah.
these problems. But sometimes all those problems don't need to be solved. Sometimes something else needs to be solved, and
Or they don't need to
you.
be solved by you. Maybe somebody else needs to solve them. But it's all about control, right? Because that's safety. So the minute you can control your situation, you feel safe. So if somebody tells you there's a tiger outside, what will you do? You lock the door, you'll put chairs in front of it. You have controlled the situation. It tells you you're safe. That's how we are in life. We are controlling everything to feel safe. But if you truly let go, ठीक है, क्या ही हो जाएगा? If you're not able to fix your husband, you're not able to fix your children, you're not able to fix your parents, you're not able to fix anything, what will happen? Nothing. Fix yourself, believe me, half the things will get fixed, because you'll realize you don't need to fix anybody.
You don't.
That burden is just self-taken.
You don't need to choose your battles when you,
There are
choose
no
the right
battles. There are no battles.
Right.
They are self-made. They are in our imagination. Sometimes we have battles that are so self-made we don't even realize. You could be like, my God, she came in, she didn't talk to me properly, she was rude, she was this, she was that. You made up
It's all in your head.
No, you made it up. Those are problems you completely imagined, but you accepted as fact because it made you feel safe. That was your safety of saying, this is justified to me. Now I can justify her behavior because मुझे तो ऐसा ही लगा था कि वो ऐसी है. Maybe I walked in thinking, shit, my flight was late. I haven't worn the right clothes. I've not made my hair. I could be thinking a million things and my reaction was based on that. But we personalize everything. We make it our problem. Then we want to control that problem, which was not there in the beginning to start with. We've created it. Then we want to control it. Then we give a narrative and an answer to it. So I just feel like a lot of it is just imagination.
So making things personal and being very judgmental about things is one thing that we need to kind of work on when we're working on relationship with self also. It's so funny that how these things that you have or you feel like you should do with others, they first have to be done with your own self,
Yes.
and then you don't need to do half of these things
Absolutely.
anyway. This conversation has somewhere very clearly answered that how do you break toxic patterns or generally the patterns that you are getting stuck in. This conversation has helped people understand, is what I'm assuming, that the 4 buckets of their relationships, how do they kind of strengthen those, what are the common obstacles that occur in those areas, and how all of this is again linked to what is your relationship with the self. And how you work on the relationship with self, how you understand what is your value system and what is your intention about your own self, and then
Correct.
intention about the rest of your relationships. So I think that these are very, very strong foundational pillars for someone to understand and solve for relationships in their life. And Ashna, I think-
relationships are everything.
Yeah.
Shobha, our life is nothing without relationships. You can buy n number of cars, houses, vacations, whatever you want. If you don't have people to enjoy it with, you're going to be miserable. Relationships are everything. The real wealth is good relationships. Good relationships at home, good relationships at office, good relationship with spouse, good relationship with friends. And I think if you win on that, your little picnic in the garden will be fun. Your walk to the cafe nearby will be fun. Your drive with your husband at night. of 10
Eating at
minutes-
home would be fun.
Everything would be fun because your relationships are sorted. And I think you can take the most expensive holiday, book the most expensive flights, buy the most expensive clothes. And if you and your spouse, your children and you, your siblings and you, your friends and you are at odds, are of no understanding, there's no emotional intimacy, you'll do all those things. But deep inside, you'll be miserable because you're like, I'm actually not happy just doing it. So I think fulfillment, like I said in the beginning, there are only 3 things we want: seen, heard, belong. And if we are seen, we are heard, and we belong with the relationships in a very healthy way, we are complete.
Awesome. I think that's a beautiful note to end this episode. Now, towards the end, there's one question that I ask all of my guests, and that is their idea of success. So, if you have to look from particularly relationships perspective, what would be your idea of success?
I think my idea of success in relationships is clarity. The more clear you are about who you are will bring a lot of clarity about what your relationship with yourself is, will bring clarity of what your relationship with everybody else is. And I think clarity brings you happiness, because clarity will bring you clarity on what you want, and then you're able to seek it. If I'm very clear that I want to run 5 kilometers by the end of January 2026, I will work 30 days by running 1, 2, 3, and finally get to 5 kilometers. You require clarity for every goal. So if I have clarity that I want to sort out my relationships, I need to have clarity for self. And I think that will give clarity for everything else in life.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ashna, for coming on the podcast and making this conversation so relatable and so beautiful. And I'm sure people who've stuck to the end of this podcast, they would have got a lot of pearls of wisdom disguised as a very fun banter that happened between us. But yeah, I enjoyed having this conversation with you, and I'm sure viewers have a lot to gain from this.
Thank you so much. I loved having this conversation with you, and also lost, track of the fact that I'm actually sitting on a podcast. I was just thinking of two friends chilling and chatting. You have that vibe, and I'm really grateful to be here.
Thank you again, Ashna.
Thank you.
And to the viewers, if you're listening us till this point in this podcast, I'm sure you have enjoyed this conversation thoroughly, and I'm sure you have seen some situations and some references from your own life into this. And I hope the learnings that Ashna has shared, that's been discussed in this podcast, you're able to take them and you're able to make some notes and apply certain things in your life. Things as simple as solving your relationship with the self, understanding what is self-work, understanding a very clear idea of who you are, where you operate from, what motivates you, what inspires you, knowing that about yourself, taking the journey within, and understanding who you are. If you've liked this conversation, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Like, comment, and share these conversations with the people with whom you feel they are stuck in their relationships. They are feeling stuck in life generally. They are not feeling motivated enough to pick up something and, just be happy in life in general. That's it, I think. I'll see you in the next episode.